think of how your line played in Detroit? I mean, I feel like they've had a pretty damn good year overall, but it felt like at least to start the game they were not themselves.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. I thought we started slow, especially in the pass game. There was a few instances where we were leaking our protections. They got to the quarterback a few times early. But I did think as the game went on, we settled in and rallied and did a better job. But yeah, we definitely needed to start faster to just be more productive at the beginning of the game, which hurt us in the long run.
So you made that good point last time, a few times ago that we talked to you, that all your road games have been kind of 50-50 crowd games, largely, except for Chicago.
Yeah.
Did you think it took them a while to settle in with the noise factor, and how does that apply to this?
Yeah, they could have, for sure. I mean, that could have definitely played a part in that. Yeah.
So do you expect them to be better this week then, because of the loud venue? Obviously.
Yeah, I hope so. And then obviously, we all know Seattle Stadium's one of the loudest in the world, so that's something we definitely got to make sure we do a good job handling that crowd and that environment, and just, being professional about that.
Last year, you guys, you finished so strongly. This is kind of a bigger picture question. So coming into this season, the feeling and the expectations had to be a lot different for you guys, for the locker room. How did you approach that?
I think the big thing, how we approached it was the expectations are just more day-to-day and week-to-week expectations. If you think about, we need to be here, or we need to, you're reading too far into the future, you're not really focused on getting better today, and just whatever is in front of you, whether that's getting better at practice or whatever opponent you're playing that week. So I think you can really kind of get in trouble when you're saying, I expect to do this, or we have to do this, when it's just worry about what's in front of you today. And as the season progresses, if you keep doing that every single day, then the results will come, you know what I mean? So I think last year it was easy because we didn't know what to expect, like you said. So it was just like, hey, focus on getting better, focus on, just improving and being a better offense. With this year, it's kind of trying to keep having that same mindset of don't worry about what people think you should be, worry about where you're at, and just worry about getting better. And if we keep doing that, we'll see the results.
Follow that up then.
Sure.
So your quarterback gets this huge contract.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get any sense from him, or did you guys have to manage that, about whether he felt like he had to live up to that contract and possibly try to do too much?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I ever got that feeling of Jordan thinking, okay, I'm getting paid whatever I need this amount of numbers, or I need this. He's mostly just been, what can I do, or how can I best help us win, whether that's handing the ball off or throwing it X amount of times during a game. So I don't think I ever got that feeling from him yet.
So when you're live watching a play down on the field, how quickly are you trying to help Matt or make a suggestion when the play, do you even see the end of a play, or are you already, okay, that play looks like it's going to get us a first down, so I'm going to relay something down?
Yeah, you typically, as you're going, you have okay, if we get a first down, here's my call. If it's if it's second and medium, here's my call. If it's third down and whatever, here are our calls. So you kind of have to play the different scenarios as it unfolds. But for me, anytime Matt says, all right, what do you think we should do, then you have to have an answer right away. But for the most part, you kind of just want him to just go. You know what I mean? As a play caller, the worst thing you can do is have people yelling in your ear to do this or do that when you have a plan of what you want to do as the drive unfolds. Most of the time, it's in between the drives where we kind of set things up for the next drive or what we want to do, so that when he goes into it, he can just say, all right, this is the plan. This is, what I want to do in the next drive. That's kind of how it goes mostly. But as drives go, yes, if he needs a play, for sure.
Or maybe unrelated, were you watching at the end of Tucker's play when he pops back up right away?
I did see that, yeah.
What did you think?
I was just, yeah, it was pretty crazy, you know. I'd never seen him do that before, so I didn't know he was able to do that. It was pretty cool.
If we're gonna talk about things you saw from upstairs then, the throw that Jordan makes where he eludes the pass rusher coming out the middle and flips his hips, what did that look like to you in real time? And then what did it look like to you when you got to watch it back?
Yeah, for me, I didn't see Jordan on that play. I was looking down at the wide receivers. So I think you're referring to the one he threw to Christian? Yeah, so I was looking at Jay Reed, actually, because he was the guy that I thought was going to get the ball, but then he got pressured and ended up going to Christian. So I was looking at Jay Reed on that play, just kind of how the pattern was unfolding. But yeah, once I saw it, you know, on the TV replay, I was like, holy cow, that was an amazing play. I don't know how the hell he caught that thing or got it off, but it was a hell of a play by him for sure.
Just solidify what he is when he's healthy versus when he's not.
There's no doubt. Like, he does some pretty incredible things in the pocket, and he's made some really good throws and just escaped some trouble this year and done a really nice job. But yeah, when he's feeling good and he can move around and he's feeling confident pushing the ball down the field, it's pretty impressive.
So how do you keep Jordan Morgan involved? How do you keep him progressing when he's not able to practice and play?
Yeah, you just got to come to meetings, you know, and he's just working, watching film, keeping him mentally involved with all of that stuff. It's always tough when the guy's not out there practicing, so you just have to, you know, in the meeting room, keep him as involved as possible.
Do you get any feel at all for what you might have there in the long run?
Yeah,
He's kind of,
no. Yeah, I saw a lot of good stuff from him. I'm very encouraged for the future. So yeah, whenever he gets healthy, we'll get him back out there and just keep working with him. But yeah, I'm very excited about Jordan.
What's the obviously got the defensive tackle's really good, but their whole D line seems pretty strong. What's the challenge kind of blocking up that front?
Yeah, Leonard Williams, they move him around. He'll play inside. He'll play defensive end. They do a good job with their load fronts and their twists. They're aggressive with their blitz package, so you know, they have a lot of different things that they do that we have to get ready for. And obviously, the crowd noise is going to be hard communicating, so we got to do a good job with that, with our calls and things like that. They force the backs to block a lot, so our backs got to do a nice job in protection. And then I think their DBs are really good too. So, you know, anytime you're able to do a good job in coverage, you know, it just allows that rush to get on the quarterback. So we got to make sure when we get our one-on-one opportunities at wide receiver, we do a good job, you know, winning those opportunities to get open quick.
Hey, Steno, so you had the Rome thing earlier in the year. Then I feel like I asked you a couple weeks later, how do you get Christian more involved? So I don't want to be, hey, how do you get Jaden Reed more involved guy? But you telling the story of the throw that I asked you about, like the place, you're expecting the play to go to Jaden Reed.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you drew it up for him and he's the first read, it doesn't get to him, right? So
Right, yeah.
How do you, I mean, again, I understand this isn't 8th grade girls basketball and not everybody gets to play the same amount.
Mm-hmm.
But you do try to get all these guys involved. How do you think you've done trying to kind of spread the wealth when it does feel like there's these?
I think, I don't know like the stats or whatever, but I feel like, you know, if you look like how many guys have caught touchdown passes or multiple touchdown passes or however many X amount of receivers we have with a certain amount of yards, like I feel like we've done a pretty good job kind of, you know, spreading the wealth, as you said. But yeah, like after the game, when I looked at the stat sheet and I was like, wow, he didn't have any catches, I was like, damn, that's too bad, because he's obviously a guy that you want him to have the ball. But yeah, we called some plays like that first third down where we got a PI where they tackled him. You know, he was obviously the guy we were going to on that play, but it just didn't work out. But you know, at the end of the day, you just gotta rely on your players, and you know, other guys stepped up and made plays, and for whatever reason, he didn't get the ball that game, but I don't expect that to be a trend at all. So I'm not, you know, making a big deal about that.
You know how running backs get to, you know, 30 years old or whatever, and their production kind of tails off.
So,
obviously Josh isn't 30. Josh isn't 30, obviously, but what what stands out as a veteran guy who's kind of bucked that trend of the old expendable running back? What have you seen on the field, off the field, that kind of makes him different in that regard?
His mindset, like how he prepares, and a lot of guys you have to manage, and he's a guy you have to manage in terms of taking him off the field because he wants every rep. He wants to be out there. He wants the ball. So you gotta sometimes be like, hey, dude, let's come stand by me for a couple plays just to make sure he doesn't work too hard in practice so that he's fresh on game day. He just has a mindset, a worker, a grinder. I think it's that mentality that's going to allow him to have as long a career as his body allows, just because of that mindset that he has as a competitor.